Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on a Thursday night football game night. We got the Cowboys and the Eagles squaring off in the NFL season opener here in just a second. But what we're going to do every Thursday from here until the first week of January, or I guess through the first week of January, is Thursday night, 3 keys to success, 3 keys to a Titans victory against whomever the opponent is each and every week. Now, if this becomes ridiculous because the football team is bad again, maybe not 3-14 bad, but is bad again enough to the point where it's not necessarily about keys to success, then we will very soon pivot off that. So we have contingency plans in place. But in the interim, everybody's undefeated. Even the Eagles and the Cowboys. That game hasn't kicked off yet. Titans and Broncos. Nobody's won. Nobody's lost. We have no idea who these teams. We think we know who these teams are, but really, especially in the case of a team like the Titans, we have no idea what the hell they're going to be, other than they're probably going to have a hard time against the kind of schedule, at least in the early going, that they are up against. So we will work our way through those things tonight. In the comments section on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is where you're hanging out with us. We'll take your feedback on all of those. But 3 keys to success, I'll give you 3. I need 1 from you, and we'll get to that later in the show. You're going to hear from Alec Amaner in particular. The rookie spoke today as being one of 2 offensive rookies for the Tennessee Titans who will start in upcoming games, and he will have his role to play certainly in the middle of all of this as well. Share the broadcast around on Facebook, YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. In the comments section, wherever you are spending your time with us, we would appreciate your participation that way. If you are hanging out on Twitter, please retweet the show. If you're on Facebook Live, you can share now to public. If you're on YouTube or Twitch, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, tell a friend to do the same. Text the link to a friend if you're so inclined, and we will look forward to seeing more of you trickle on in here as we get moving. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on this Thursday night, on this NFL season opening night. I'm your host, Buck Rising, and I'm proud, as always, to be presented to you by the wonderful people at True Math Fitness in the Gulch. I'm looking forward to my True Math Friday tomorrow, my Arm Farm Friday tomorrow at True Math Fitness. You know that is what I love to do, and you'll love it too. That's why they give you your first workout free at TrueMathFitness.com. By Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer, online at TwoRiversFord.com for more details. Quality American-made Ford vehicles and award-winning customer service on offer. That's Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at TwoRiversFord.com for more details. Ben Hall says Bert is going to have to actually do a show completely naked if we end up having a winning season. Brother, he's completely naked right now. Robert, do you have a single article of clothing on as we sit here doing the primetime show?
No, I can stand up really quick if you'd like me to.
No. He's done that before. You can't see him when he does that, but he's definitely done that to me before.
I always hope that sometimes I forget to move my little camera, and I always hope that you're not looking, but I know secretly, just like that little boy that's like, oh, is my hot mom's neighbor getting in the pool over there? Just like that little boy, you're hoping to get a gander at Bert's cheeks.
Brother, you're the only human being I've ever seen with a concave ass. It's one of the most bizarre phenomenons I've ever seen in my life. So no, nothing about your cheeks are appealing one way or the other, front or back. Either way, what we have tonight are 3 keys to success, and we're going to get into those here together with a naked Bert, with me, with you. So let's go ahead and get it underway. The question for you is, what is the biggest key to the Titans winning in Denver? Now, they are 7.5-point underdogs going to Denver. I'm honestly surprised that line is not bigger. I think that the injury report obviously is favorable. We talked to Dan Moore today. We'll talk to L'Jarius Sneed tomorrow. Calvin Ridley has spoken earlier in the week, and Cam Ward gave a press conference on Wednesday. But the biggest key, the single biggest key to success for the Tennessee Titans to win in Denver, you guys give it to me in the comments section, because this is going to be a slog. I'll just give you some numbers from DraftKings Sportsbook on the Tennessee Titans traveling to the Denver Broncos at this point in time. I mentioned to you that they are 7.5-point underdogs heading into Denver. The game will be at 2:05 local time. So what is that, a Mountain Time, 2 hours ahead? or 1 hour ahead. I think it's just 1 hour ahead. So it will be a 3:05 local time kick. It will be a 2:05 Denver kickoff schedule. And for the Tennessee Titans, you are going into a hostile environment. There is few better NFL atmospheres than opening day. Opening day is raucous. Again, week one is a fun atmosphere. It's as close to a playoff atmosphere as you could get, especially for teams who are not going to be participating in the postseason. So in the case of the Titans and the Broncos, so that line is now moved to 8.5. That line has been bet up. 8.5 point underdogs are the Tennessee Titans. The over/under, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, set at 42.5. If you were feeling froggy, you can bet the Titans on the money line at plus 320. And this is basically what we're going to try and figure out together. Are they capable? Do they have the tools necessary to get this job done? I will start in the obvious place, and that is with the turnovers. Cam Ward was asked Wednesday, 2 days ago, or I guess yesterday, about the idea of turning the ball over, if he was overwhelmingly concerned about it. Now, he is not, and he is going to turn the ball over. I'm not going to do Titan season predictions on primetime. I'm going to do Titan season predictions on the radio show tomorrow, and I will have them written for you at A2ZSports.com. So when inevitably I get things wrong, or if I'm totally right about everything this season, you can, you probably won't agree with me because I'm, not going to be overwhelmingly favorable to them. But I think I'm realistic about where the Titans are headed. I think Cam Ward is going to have double-digit turnovers easy this year between interceptions and fumbles. I think, whether it's total turnovers that we're talking about, or I would have him no less than 15 interceptions this coming season. I think he's going to throw a couple in Denver because Denver's going to show him all kind of shit that he's seen on tape, but never really when the bullets are flying. And his play style lends itself to turnovers. So if the Titans are going to have success in Denver, Cam Ward cannot turn the ball over. That is going to be the quickest path to downfall. You absolutely, absolutely, absolutely have to play a clean football game in every phase. That means no turnovers on offense, no turnovers on special teams, and you cannot miss opportunities. If Bo Nix gifts you one, or if a fumble hits the turf, you have to be there to capitalize. Eric Castillo says, how many is too many interceptions for you? For Cam Ward in his rookie season, how many is too many? I mean, if he has more if he has more interceptions than picks, then it's or more interceptions than touchdowns, then it's too many. But if he comes out of this season with 20 touchdowns and 15 picks, I wouldn't be surprised. That's who I think he's going to be, at least in this rookie season. Can he fine-tune some stuff? Can he find ways to be a more efficient player? Maybe, but I'm totally expecting double-digit interceptions, easily double-digit interceptions. How many interceptions is too many? More picks than touchdowns would be a problem, but I don't care how many interceptions he throws necessarily, as long as there is good context behind them, and as long as we all understand what's trying to get accomplished there. And sometimes a defender will make a play on the ball, sometimes Cam Ward will put the ball in harm's way. But yeah, more interceptions than touchdowns is really the only thing that I would find problematic. If he comes out with a Jameis Winston season, 30 for 30, 30 touchdowns, 30 picks, you'd have a Titans quarterback throwing for 30 touchdowns, which would be crazy. But obviously, the kind of turnovers that you don't want, it's not even about the turnovers. It's about the things that nuke you. And turnovers do nuke you. But, man, Will Levis's play, whether it was turnovers or not, Will Levis would nuke you, right? Cam Ward, I don't think is going to do that. He'll make mistakes and he'll put you in situations that he's going to have to dig himself out of. But he's not going to crater the way that Will Levis did. Even at his worst, whatever Cam Ward's worst looks like it as a professional quarterback, the one thing that I am absolutely convinced of is that Cam Ward is not going to be bothered in the way that Will Levis was bothered by mistakes that way. He doesn't have to play a perfect game to be able to come out cleanly on the other side. Eric Castillo says, Cody Barton's inside information is what gives me the most hope. Yeah, they're going to change all that shit. Players turn over every year. So, they're going to have different concepts. They're not going to give Cody Barton on offense or defense. Sean Payton has been doing this for 100 years. He's a Super Bowl champion coach. You think he's going to let Cody Barton's inside information beat them? No, I think that's much ado about nothing. Coaching staffs change terminology, change looks. Yeah, obviously they'll have schematic tendencies and things like that, but in week one, there's no rules, right? Week one doesn't mean anything. I don't think there's much to actually be gained from it other than you'll have some kind of an idea, but I don't think that's going to help them too much. So turnovers, no turnovers in the game for Cam Ward would be the first key to success. I don't think that'll happen, but if they're going to win, that's where it has to start. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. In the comment section, your Two Rivers Ford take. What is your biggest key for the Titans to have success on Sunday in Denver? Let me know in the comment section. We'll talk about it together. While you do that, I'll remind you that Two Rivers Ford is where you go for reliability, whether it is award-winning customer service, your next new or certified pre-owned vehicle, or just their service department, which is top-notch. Hell, they have a mobile service department. So if I'm like they've come and picked my car up from the Titans facility, taken care of it, brought it back, ready to rock, because Two Rivers goes above and beyond for the customer. Always competitive prices and a sales staff that does not put any pressure on you because they do not work on commission. Throughout the course of the car buying process, they make it fast, easy, and more fun. That's Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com for more details. All right, so the biggest key to success for me is a lack of turnovers from Cam Ward. The second part of this is that they have to find ways to get Alec Amaner, or Alec Amaner has to find ways to make plays if Calvin Ridley is being game planned for, and Calvin Ridley will be the player that is being game planned for. Alec Amaner spoke to us in the locker room earlier today. This is what the rookie fourth-round pick out of Stanford had to say.
Personality is very consistent, and so if you're consistent with your personality, I think a lot of times your performance can follow. And so I try to structure a routine for myself and follow it. A long time, and I've been doing it down in the States and living my dream. So I'm just excited to do what I've always dreamed to do as a kid.
So what does it mean to you to be listed as a starter and, line up alongside guys like Ridley and have that opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it means that much, or even having like the label on the depth chart as that means really anything. I seen this interview with the Dolphins head coach talking about Ollie Gordon. And he was like, you might play 0 plays, you might play all the plays, or somewhere in between. So I'm taking that same type of mentality, just get the opportunity that I have and take advantage of it.
Callahan said one of the things that led to this was you being a more consistent player. What was it about you that made you more consistent? 'Cause I know initially that was a little bit of something you were working on.
Being more consistent?
Right.
I think I'm just I think my personality is very consistent. And so if you're consistent with your personality, I think a lot of times your performance can follow. And so I try to structure a routine for myself and follow it. And I think that helps with consistency.
Was there something that clicked, like maybe that Wednesday in Atlanta or anything like that to kind of spin you forward?
I don't think so. I don't know if can be like one thing to push, like Coach Callahan said, allegedly, like you have to do stuff for a long period of time over and over again. I think that's what the NFL is all about.
So that is Alec Amaner today in the locker room. He's going to have to win one-on-one matchups. They're going to be one-on-one matchups that are presented to him because they're going to do what they can to take away Calvin Ridley. Now, maybe they don't have to do too much to take away Calvin Ridley because they've got the reigning defensive player of the year on the other side. But if Alec Amaner does get one-on-ones, then he has to win them, and that is going to be a huge part of the plan for Tennessee. And then, of course, as we talked about, we've brought up 2 offensive situations. The defense has to get off the field. I'm more worried about the Titans defense in 2025. I'm infinitely more worried about the Titans defense in 2025 than I am the Titans offense. I think that they are going to be in a situation where they are, Cam Ward is going to be fine and the offensive line is going to be fine as long as they're healthy. And then all of a sudden, your defense can't get off the field and you're losing games. I don't trust the Titans defense right now because there's a lot of things, a lot of unknown pieces and parts about all this. Now, going back to a video from earlier in the summer where we talked to Cody Barton. Cody Barton talked about some of the things that make this defense work, and I think Cody's going to be a good player, but I think it's going to take some time before we really know what this defense is capable of, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, it was a good day. I mean, it's good to compete back and forth, but I don't know. We had a talk yesterday as a defense, and we felt like we weren't dominant enough on the first day. And so I think as a group, a collective group, we decided, this day's got to be something we got to make that emphasis as a group win, and take it one rep at a time, one play at a time. And then that collectively will just add up, into a day's win, I guess you could say, But yeah, today felt like it was a good day. There's always things to improve and always things to correct, obviously, but, a good foundation to build upon.
Is that 3 of Cam? You had 2 in the offseason and then first one today? Yeah. You let him know that?
Yeah, no, I did not, because I'm worried about that. 2 plays later, I dropped one.
That's true,
but, no, it's just good to compete. And those kind of mistakes, they happen, but it's good to have him in camp early for him to learn from them, okay? And, we'll talk later when the time comes in the locker room about what I was seeing, what he was seeing, and how we can correct that going forward.
And the sign that you're in a position to make plays like that, is that kind of a sign that you're kind of up to speed in this defense and feeling good about how things are going?
Yeah, I feel great in this defense.
Yeah.
The way Coach calls it, it lets you play fast, and I feel like that's an attribute of mine, and just it's a lot of fun. Cody, you mentioned.
That's Cody Barton. It's probably a couple of months ago, talking at one of the earlier padded practices in training camp, and obviously we've come a long way since then. T'Vondre Sweat fully healthy. It sounds like L'Jarius Sneed's going to play. Sounds like L'Jarius Sneed's going to be ready to go for week 1. They really need him. I think it's a crazy concept. Just have this idea of a player who's perpetually hurt and whose biggest, hurdle for him to overcome right now beyond his own health is like getting in NFL shape. And just to say, all right, week 1 at elevation in Denver against a playoff team, go get him, bud. Now, Denver's skill players aren't the most impressive, I guess you would say. But Sean Payton is one of the smartest offensive coaches in the sport. He has been for a long, long time. He was right about drafting Bo Nix 12th overall, and he is going to have some things prepared to try and take advantage of a suspect Titans defense. But they have to be able to get off the field. They have to give Cam Ward a chance. If Cam Ward plays right, worst case scenario is Cam Ward has a hell of a game, plays a turnover-free game, and the defense can't get off the field. That would be a huge, huge, huge problem. And they're going to have problems this year. We understand that. This is not going to be a playoff team in 2025. But they can show improvement and growth, and it starts week 1 in Denver. So those are the 3 keys to success ahead of our road trip to Denver, and we're looking forward to that. In the comments, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, weekend bounce back. Who needs to bounce back this weekend? Titans could use a bounce back. Shitty 2024 season. Here's an opportunity to get a fresh start. Cowboys and Eagles. God knows Jerry Jones needs a bounce back. After it would be a huge coup for Jerry to win tonight, for Jerry's team to win tonight after trading away Micah Parsons. It could be Arch Manning. Who needs to bounce back most in sports this week? We'll talk about it together. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch right after I remind you that the Primetime program is made possible by TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch. The best workout anywhere in Middle Tennessee. They are here to help you. They will put you in position to succeed, just as they have done for me for over the course of, it's been 4 or 5 years we've been going to TrueMath, and we love it as much as any other workout I've ever been a part of, whether it's personal training, group fitness classes, just their facility, which is top-notch and conveniently located in downtown Nashville. In the Gulch, TrueMath Fitness is there to work for you. TrueMathFitness.com for additional details today. Who needs to bounce back most in sports? Well, there's a couple of good submissions. But this situation with the Cowboys, it's a fascinating one.
Rhett, on the far part of the stadium there is a black sheet that is covering the banner for the Super Bowl champions from this past season. This will be a celebration of everything they accomplished last year. That'll be a brief look back and then a look forward to 2025 as they begin the game. I find it interesting because Jalen Hurts was one of several Eagles, along with head coach Nick Sirianni, who talked about moving forward. Nothing they did last year matters anymore. Yet, as they start the regular season, there will be the celebration. There will be Boys to Men singing the national anthem. Brandon Graham, who has since retired, will be on hand and part of the festivities. There'll even be perhaps a special guest, I am told, with regard to the festivities to start the game as owner Jeffrey Lurie brings out the Lombardi Trophy. So all those festivities that the players have been trying to put behind them will be there right before kickoff. The Eagles fans are ready. There will be plenty of Eagles gear inside this entire stadium. There will be a smattering of Cowboys gear, including, Rhett, I am told, and I find this hilarious, Micah Parsons' mother, Charisse, will be here, is already on the premises along with his grandmother. Charisse is wearing Cowboys gear tonight to the game. I can't believe that I heard that, but that's exactly what is happening tonight with Micah Parsons' mother here at the link.
Very, very strange. So the Cowboys need a bounce back. If they win tonight, it would be crazy. Also, there's another video in here that I'm not sure what it is. I forgot what Bert put in here for rising and falling. Let's find out together, shall we?
Oh, sorry, guys.
I need your help, man.
All right, dude, I'm sorry. My glorious King Cameron Ward just made me dinner. He made me beef stew.
Cam Ward cooks?
Yeah.
He cooks on and off the field.
That man cooked you food?
Yes, that's my glorious King.
Oh, that's Xavier Restrepo. That's a video we forgot to play from last night for rising and falling. That was Ross. That's Xavier Restrepo, apparently. Cameron Ward making dinner for the boys. Beef stew is an interesting choice, but, maybe it's good. I have no idea. Titans could use a bounce back in Denver. I wouldn't pick them. I wouldn't bet them with my money. You can bet them with yours if you want to. But they seem to really like and embrace the role that they're in, talking to Tony Pollard and who else did we talk to in the locker room? Amaner, Dan Moore, who missed practice yesterday but is going to be back, it sounds like, and was a full participant today. Nothing really concerning there with that ankle injury. L'Jarius Sneed, they're expecting to have all their pieces and parts out there. Lloyd Cushenberry's not even on the injury report, so I guess we'll find out. No primetime in Denver, by the way, because it's a later kick, so we will not do prime time. I have a flight to catch back, so we will react to everything on Monday on the radio show, but should be a fun game. Should be an interesting game. Go check out the install. Go check out the install with Greg Cosell. Bert, put the link in the chat, please, for today's episode of the install. It's the first week one preview of NFL football that we have, Greg and I, breaking it all down. Greg has great insights and information on the Broncos, in particular, what the Titans are going to be up against, what he's looking for from a matchup perspective. And, of course, you can catch that every Thursday in your favorite podcast feed. Radio show tomorrow. Coach Dave McGinnis will preview the game with us. Brett Kern will be in studio. We will enjoy getting you ready for week 2 in college football and week 1 in the NFL. We'll talk about this Eagles-Cowboys game as well. Enjoy the football. Have a great rest of your evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on 104.5 The Zone.
There's a very low percentage.